Well, there's a byproduct of the super hot real estate market we're in that everyone seems to be talking about, and that is buyer fatigue. So what is it? And if you're feeling it, what's the cure? So here to answer those questions is Wink Real Estate's expert, Denny Grimes from Denny Grimes and team at Keller Williams Realty. Now, Denny does advertise on our station, but that has no bearing on this segment. Good morning, Denny.
Good morning.
So, Denny, we have some questions for you. I'm assuming, as the name implies, that buyer fatigue has to do with the challenges of buying a home. Is that right?
Yes, you're right. And the interesting thing is, and I've been doing this almost 40 years, I've never heard that term before. So, in fact, I've never even heard seller fatigue. So, but we've never had a market like this either. I mean, buyers are feeling the pressure. They're out shopping for a home. They finally find a home. They've got to act quickly. There's probably multiple offers on it. And many times they lose out. And it's kind of like running a 5K race, and before you get to the finish line, somebody blows a whistle and makes you go back to the starting line. So you can imagine it can be exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the buyers out there that are fatigued, what is the cure and how can they get back on track?
Right. Well, let me talk about the cause first of all, because I believe the vast majority of the buyer fatigue cases are self-inflicted. And what I mean by that, buyers are having unrealistic expectations. They have an unrealistic expectation of what they want in their wish list. I mean, does the house really have to have a southern exposure? How about southeast? Would that work? And they're unrealistic in basically what they're willing to pay. And, you know, we're in the seller's market, and that means that the sellers get to make the rules. And what's interesting is I've had conversations with multiple buyers that put an offer on the house, Sabrina, and then they find they don't get it. They find out later what it sold for. They said, well, I would have paid that. So my question to the audience, if you're out there shopping, why didn't you do that? Because you'd be living in a home now. So you've got to put your best foot forward, which leads us to the cure. And there's 4 easy things. Number 1, get realistic on your expectations. Maybe narrow your wish list. Number 2, you're going to have to be realistic on the price you're willing to pay. This is a supermarket. You're going to have to put your best foot forward, your strongest offer, because you're not going to get a second chance. Here's an idea, too, that many buyers haven't thought about. Why don't you just be the backup? So you're the bridesmaid, but many times the transaction doesn't go through, and you could have a backup offer that would go into place automatically. Doesn't even keep you from shopping for other homes. And my last bit of advice as far as the cure is whatever speed you've been working, you're going to have to work faster because that's how fast the market's moving.
Yeah, that sounds like some great information right there. Usually as a buyer, you want to make sure you're getting a good deal so you can be a little skittish, but you're saying don't do that right now.
Nope.
Okay, so what would you say to a buyer that just wants to give up?
Well, that's what we're dealing with a lot. I mean, they want to give up. And here's my advice. Don't. Because it may cost you more in the long run to give up. There's no reason to give up. Follow the 4 rules that we just talked about. Get realistic on your expectation. Make your best offer first, and act with speed. You know what? You'll be moving into your new home before you know it. So just don't give up.
All right, I like that attitude, Denny. Thank you so much for being with us today. Have a wonderful weekend.